Yeah, you probably can't see me very well, but I'm coming up on that spot where I got hit in the face by the sprinkler the other day. I'm kind of scared. I think I might just walk on the street or something. Got like PTSD about it. Alright, so I went on the street because the sprinklers were on. And it's the ones here in the park strip. And most of the time, you know, they kind of spray the area that they're in. Maybe a little bit bleed over onto the sidewalk. But no, these were like full-on ones that shoot like 10 or 15 feet. Just shooting straight across the sidewalk. What the freak, man? So goals. It's hard to get where you're going without knowing where you're going to. And that's the whole point, is you need to have a specific thing that you're trying to do. I'm someone who struggles just like you, just like everybody else. Like, when I was a little kid, I was super skinny, but I'd say from like at least middle school since till now, weight is something that I've struggled with, and it's not something I've ever been able to overcome. And so, like, I get it. There are times where she's just gonna walk across my yard. I guess so. There are times where I've been there, and like, as far as motivation, it's just like the even thought of it doing anything is just too much. I understand. Is what I'm trying to say. When I'm talking about goals, there's multiple levels of goals. Now, if you're someone where the thought of all the weight you have to lose is just too overwhelming, let's approach it a little bit differently. Okay, instead of worrying about that, let's focus on something that you can change. What can you do that's not unbearable? Maybe it might be a little challenging, but the thought of it isn't gonna like destroy you, you know. So start there. Like the whole entering your calories into MyFitnessPal. I'm like, it doesn't take that much work. It doesn't require you to actually change any of your habits. You just need to go in and enter the information. Like, is that something you can do? Like, try that for a week, you know. So start small. Start where you're able to do. There's no point in you setting a goal that you're just going to give up on in a week. In my perspective, in my view, if you're making a positive change, even if it's small, you know, down the line, you're still better off than you were if you hadn't made that change at all. Understand that. And so I want to talk about long-term goals. I'm going to talk about short-term goals, and I'm going to talk about kind of the best way to approach setting these goals. All right, so that's the biggest, most important thing you need to understand. You got to make goals based on what you can do and can handle. So goals is something that you hear a lot about. There is a good reason for that, because it works. You can't achieve what you don't expect of yourself, meaning that you can't do something if you don't expect yourself to do it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you want to improve, which I am assuming you do, I think most people probably have something they want to improve. But if you want to improve, you need to set a goal. And I'm going to talk to you today about something called SMART goals. So SMART stands for simple, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So simple. You don't want to make plans that's going to take this huge, long, complex. The simpler the thing is, better the chance of achieving that is. And with the simple as an S, I would also put in specific. So I would try to be as specific as possible, so you know what to hold yourself accountable for. For example, you could say, I want to lose weight. That's great. So is it like 1 pound, half pound, 100 pounds? Like, what are you actually trying to achieve? To know that, you kind of have to know what's a healthy weight for you to be at. Now, there is a thing called BMI, or body mass index. And this is a system to basically classify your weight compared to your height. Now, this isn't a perfect system by any means, but it is a good guideline on where you want to be. And I'm going to put a link right here so that you can go and check out what your BMI should be. And then with that, you can kind of set specific goals as far as weight. Now for me, my end goal is to be at 200 pounds. That's 150 pounds down from where I am right now. Now the 200 is just kind of a number. It doesn't really mean all that much to me or anything. I've looked at my BMI, and to be in a healthy range, it gives you a range of weights that you need to be at to be within that healthy range. And 200 is actually in the higher end, close to overweight category. And that's because BMI doesn't take into account a lot of things. It doesn't factor in if you have a lot of muscle mass. It doesn't factor in bone density. There's a lot of different things that it doesn't factor in, and it tries its best to fit you into a category. You have underweight, healthy weight, overweight, and obese. And so it's going to give you a range based on your height and what you can be. And when I get to 200 pounds, who knows, I might get to 205 and find that that's where I feel good about being. Maybe I get to 200 and I say, I have a little bit further to go. I'm going to go down a little farther. That is also okay. It's just a general guideline. It's just a general specific goal, though. It is still specific, but it's not the end-all be-all. And that's something that's going to come along later. So measurable. Is that something that you can measure? Weight loss is pretty easy for this category. Most of the stuff you can and are going to be doing is very measurable. If you're losing weight, it is therefore measurable on a scale. If you are counting your calories, it is measurable by inputting the calories into your system that you are using. It is measurable that you can go back and see the times that you made your calorie goals as well as the times that you didn't make it. It's important that you have something to measure it with. You don't want it to be too abstract or not able to track and be accountable for it. So that leads us to achievable. You need to be realistic. And so this is another way that BMI comes into play. For me, it wouldn't be realistic to say that I want to be 125 pounds. That's my goal. I want to lose weight and get to 125 pounds. That wouldn't be a healthy weight for me. And so that's why I'd encourage you to go check out your BMI, see the range that you're supposed to be in, and pick a number in that healthy range. That doesn't mean that you can't change it and reevaluate it once you get there, but you want to be realistic with what you are expecting. If you're expecting to be 125 and it's not realistic for you to be under 150, you're probably going to be disappointed, and that's probably going to affect you when you can never get that low. So make sure it is something that is achievable. And that leads right into the next point. R is relevant. This goal needs to be relevant to you. It needs to be challenging. It needs to be something that extends you beyond your comfort zone. And this is where I was talking about earlier. There are many steps and there's many things you can do for weight loss. A lot of it can seem very overwhelming. There's been times where just the thought of exercising or the thought of like counting calories and trying to stay under that budget was too much for me to handle. I just couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it. Not dealing with it is not a good or acceptable solution to a problem. So the key is, if that is too much, find a goal that you can achieve. Find something that's not that overwhelming. Say, okay, I'm not going to worry about making sure I stay under this amount, but I'm going to track my calories for the next week. and see where I'm actually at. Okay, I'm going to try to eat vegetables in my meal. Whatever it is, if it's this big goal of wanting to go for a run every morning for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, to I'm just going to look at the nutritional facts for these foods. I'm not going to enter them, I'm just going to look at it, make a conscious effort to look at it. Anything like that is a positive step in the right direction. Okay, so you set a goal, make sure it is challenging. Don't make it something that you're already doing. Okay, once you're able to achieve that goal and you're able to be successful with that, okay, let's move on and find a different goal that's maybe a little bit more challenging for you. You've already got practice achieving one goal. You're already that much better off than you were before. Might as well. You know, there's lots of different reasons or lots of different ways that you can make improvements, and they don't have to be big or drastic. If you pick something small, but it's still challenging for you, where are you going to be 4 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now if you made that change? Now, if you didn't make that change, where are you going to be in that same amount of time? The last one is time bound. You want to make sure you are setting specific parameters around your goals. You don't want to leave things open. You don't want to say, I want to lose 150 pounds. I'm going to go start walking. Okay, like, how are you going to achieve a goal with that little specificity, you know? The kind of goal that you would want to say is, I want to lose 150 pounds. I'm going to do this by counting my calories, making sure I stay within my calorie budget every day, and then I'm going to include 30 minutes of walking 5 days a week. Something specific. You want to make sure that you are not making things general, because you're not going to be successful if you're just saying, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go walking, I'm going to eat better. It makes sense. It's very logical that that's not going to work. That's what I've done. I've done that a lot. It doesn't stop me from doing it, but you can see why that's not going to be effective. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. And like I've said before, I know a lot about this subject, but doing is a lot harder than learning about it. And so I'm doing the best I can to try to apply them to my life, and I'm also trying to share them with you. I have my degree from college going over this stuff, and I've never used it before. And I would like to put my education to good use and be able to help some people who might not understand or know what's the best way to do things. Okay, so in summary, there's 2 things that I want to have you focus on. Okay, so set a long-term goal. Go and look up where your BMI should be. Set a long-term goal of where you're going to be. Figure out the time frame for that goal. Now, a healthy weight loss is only 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's what makes it hard, is this is a test of patience. Okay, so after you have your long-term goal, set a specific short-term goal. Okay, this is where you're going to get into the more specific little changes. Okay, so what little change can you make? What little change can you handle? Okay, can you start tracking your calories? Okay, so those are the biggest things that I think you should focus on. Like I've said before, exercise is not essential for weight loss. I do think exercise is essential to being healthy, so I want to make sure I clarify that, is that it is important. It is really good for you. The struggle is, or the issue is, when you look at that as your form of weight loss. I'm looking to lose these 5 to 10 pounds. I'm going to go start hitting the gym. I'm going to start doing this. That's a temporary solution. That is not a long-term life change. And this is what this needs to be. This needs to be a lifestyle change. You need to change the way you are eating. You need to change the way you're looking at food. You need to change the way you're thinking about activities and doing that kind of stuff. While exercise is essential, it's very important, and if you feel up to it, I would encourage you to include that as part of your goals. But if you are going to choose one thing to set a goal towards your weight loss goal, focus on your food. that is going to be the key to your success, and it's going to pay off the most dividends for you. No. Hi, boys. How are you? You got your tiger sword?
I'll make it. I'll show you.
That's pretty cool. Here, Aiden.
What?
Hi.
Hi.
What do you got there?
My sword.
Mega sword. Hey, baby. He seems okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
Tell me how you really feel.
That scared me! That scared me, Mom!
I'm sorry.
That's the second time you scared me today.
You done cleaning up yet? Are you done cleaning up yet? How close are you? Okay, let's hurry and finish, okay? Then you can come out. Okay? Throwing huge tantrums. Just ridiculous. So he's spending a little time in his room. Easy me. Oh,
I'm over here to the sink.
oh. Oh.
Pretending, Mom.
Hey, Penny. Hi, puppy. How you doing? Hi, Penny. So, hope you guys liked today's episode. Please leave a like if you liked it. Remember to subscribe if you're not already. I hope you guys like these videos. They're not all going to be as information heavy, but I am going to try to incorporate this a lot more into the vlogs. I just had a few topics that I really wanted to discuss and put out there. And a lot of the vlogs are probably going to be focused on my progress and, you know, just different things. I'm going to try to have a focus each day, but it's probably not going to be as specific and as information heavy. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.